Dreamcast. That is the backup. Oops, I keep capturing both audios. Well, good evening, everybody. And oops, I forgot to tell Courtney. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the LAN Show. Welcome. Thanks for coming back. This is the fourth show we've done now. As we start every LAN show. I can't even get it right. It's been a day apparently. But my name is Mark. I'm a computer engineer, artist, 3D printing addict, and all-around tinkerer. Yanni, that's your part.
Man, making me do work.
I am making you do work.
What do we got? He wrote my my intro for me, and I changed it to what I want it to be.
Did you actually?
But I'll add in what he did put for me because it was true. I'm Yanni. I'm a repair technician. I do enjoy 3D modeling, 3D printing, and small engine repair. I usually try to have a few side projects running on the side just to keep things interesting. It keeps my mind going. Although I very rarely ever even complete them, but eventually I do at some point. I feel like completing them and they just get done. And I like snack wraps.
I forgot.
I like snack wraps and burritos. And
I forgot I put that.
I like things that are like easily handleable, right? Because I like to eat on the go.
I feel like that's what she said.
So that's why Taco Bell's a really good option. Get like crunch wraps and burritos.
We were sitting here just fucking around this entire time. I forgot to do the pop-out chat.
Can't believe you right now. That's exactly what I'm working on right now. I can see we're live.
Oh.
And the thumbnail's not
here.
There right now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why the thumbnail's not there. Slightly concerned about that. I think I need to manually go fix that real quick. It is Riku time. I need to go. What are you doing?
I'm also popping out chats.
Oh, okay. Well, I need to figure out why my I just see a Jay's 2 cents video that Nvidia just fixed their driver, so that's cool. I need to figure out why my thumbnail was not saved. And it should have been. It should be this one. And then I hit the save button, and it should be saved now. So hopefully that's the right thumbnail. Anyways, we spent 3 minutes on this. Today, we'll be talking about the PlayStation 6 Portable, the RTX 5060 launch, Google's ad monopoly, and UV printing, as well as a few other things that Yanni gathered when he got off of work today that I did not put in the doc. Or I did not put in that sentence that I wrote for myself. So, do we want to go top, bottom? Because I feel like we should start with the Google ad monopoly. I didn't really properly order these when I meant to.
I feel like we could start wherever, really. Yeah, Google ad monopoly.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So a U.S. federal judge, which I forgot to write this part. I spent so much time on that stupid thumbnail that I forgot to reorganize this and actually rewrite this, so it might sound a little stupid.
Right.
But apparently this case took place in Virginia. So a Virginia judge determined that Google is a monopoly in the online ad space and said that Google broke the law to maintain ad dominance online. And in addition to depriving rivals of the ability to compete, this exclusionary conduct substantially harmed Google's publisher customers and the competitive process and ultimately consumers of information on the open web. Apparently, the case began in 2023 from a lawsuit that was filed by the U.S. Justice Department and 8 different states, accusing Google of illegally monopolizing the ad market. The U.S. government states that Google owns 80% of the ad market, and we're able to force publishers into using its ad software. Unsurprisingly, you have to go with the biggest player. Whenever you're trying to advertise, you want to get as many ads as you can, basically, to try and make some type of money.
Right.
There's still a DOJ lawsuit. Wow. Yeah. Nope. Did not proofread this. There's still a DOJ lawsuit that has to take place, and those are set to really either damage or be a huge relief for Google, depending on how they turn out. What is up, Celtier?
Howdy.
So for the discussion questions, will demonopolizing Google really help the market? And I put in quotations because I think I had to clarify, and I was supposed to fix that.
Right.
But does anyone else have the same experience and ad structure that Google has to support the holes they will be forced to leave? What do you think?
No. Be honest, going to any website, unless you just leave cookies on 24/7, I don't think there's any um I don't think there's like any other ad competitors that match Google's um resources,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah.
You go to like Facebook, right? And it's just riddled with crap.
Right.
It's not anything great. When you get Google ads, or generally it could be sponsored by locality and things like that, and you can pay in. For small businesses, it can be pretty cool because you can push your way to the top for, a specific range. And I know of a few channels that I watch. I know Northridge Fix being one of them. He's open about how he got the word out in his early days because they were working out of like an office building of sorts, and they were doing like mail-in repairs or like drop-off repairs.
Right.
And they did the Google
Which is
ad,
awesome.
and he said he'll never forget the day he knew that they were going to make it, and it was like one of the most emotional days for him. It's like right next to, like his marriage and kids being born, is him walking up to the shop, opening for the day, and his two buddies are already in the office, and they just didn't know what to do because they had a line of people going out the building. Yeah, they had a line of people going like waiting at their office door. And immediately he thought like, what are all these people doing here? And then he gets up to his level and he sees the door, and he just couldn't believe that they were all sitting there. So that's all thanks to Google Ads.
Right.
Those kind of resources. They, what's the first thing you do? Computers broke. Computer repair, and you can pay for the space to have it local and just to throw it up on top of the list like that. But no, I don't think, like, I'm sure options would get better, but taking that away from Google, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I think
It sucks in a sense.
the only people I think that could possibly fill the hole would be Facebook. They're probably the second biggest ad company, really.
Yeah.
They've really tried to do that. So I think that's the only logical solution is Facebook would have to step in. But even still, like you said, Facebook ads are pretty crappy. Like,
very bad, and they're not monitored very well.
Nope.
One thing I'll say Google got a little bit better at, just a little bit, is scam ads. You go to look up, computer repair, and you're going to get like support guru online,
right?
Or something like that. And I guess, sorry ahead of time if there's a legit support guru, but you should probably switch your name because that lines up with like the 500 other support gurus that are also like scam businesses.
Riku, I'm not tired. I'm just saving my energy for the end of the show.
The end of the show.
The end of the show.
Looking like I had some energy drinks. No, it's actually I'm just, I don't know. I get wired when I get home.
Getting off the work high. Do you think the DOJ, or the
GOG.
U.S. government in general could ever force Google, or I guess more accurately, Alphabet, the parent company, to break up due to just how huge they are and how many pots they have their hands in?
I think they can try.
Yeah,
Look at TikTok. TikTok's practically refusing to sell, and they're still hanging around.
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, they're like
Well, they would shut
one
them
of the
down, but then Google would just be like, oh, I'm gonna go uproot my headquarters to Canada now, or uproot
right.
my headquarters to Mexico. Like, you know, like they could shut them down in America, sure, but
Google could buy its own country
yeah,
and just well, it's our laws now,
yep.
and just make everyone telework. Put a
Be
server on the island.
hilarious. Google would
Google could
buy my
buy
dinner.
everybody's dinner for
Literally.
all of our lifetimes.
I need to. I almost forgot.
And even that probably wouldn't even come close to bankrupting them.
Need to copy this text. Um. Yeah, I think Google is. If the lawsuits keep going the way that they are, Google is going to be in a very different company very soon. Um, it's a very what did he put there? Can't even see that.
Actually, can't even tell
Yeah, you
because it
can't tell.
doesn't. It scales.
Hold on. I'm making my window
Oh, if you
smaller.
shrink it,
I'm trying. Nope, can't tell. Good job. You messed it up. Oh, is it supposed to be like eyeballs?
I'm playing with it. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what I got.
I'm like, is it like the Avengers logo? I feel like it's the Avengers logo. That's the best I got. I can't. I like it doesn't line up, so you can't actually tell. Um, but yeah. So I guess let's move on to the PlayStation 6 Portable, because this is ironically the thing I'm the most excited about, but the least I had to write about, because it's technically just a rumor right now. But WCCF Tech reports that the rumored PlayStation 6 Portable will not be as powerful as the PlayStation 5. What's up, Joe?
Hey,
Um, the same person who leaked the AMD Kepler L2 chip, um, well, was the one who said that the console won't be as powerful as the current PS5, since it'll be powered by a 15-watt 3 nanometer SoC. The speculation right now seems, or people think that it might be a Z1 or Z2 Extreme chip, the same chip that's found inside of the Lenovo Legion Go, or the current, um, what is it? The current ROG Ally X, is that the new one that they came out with? I think that's it.
that's our
Um,
latest one.
so there's a lot of hype for it, and a lot of hope that it's going to um I really do hope it's going to come out, because even though it's just a rumor, it would be awesome to have another PSP. I don't think you can play any, well, I'm trying to think. There's a handful of PlayStation games that you can't play on something like a Steam Deck, um, or an ROG Ally, so on and so forth. So Sony essentially making a PlayStation Portable another PlayStation Portable would just be awesome. And hopefully they don't go the PS Vita route, where like it required a cell signal to play some games and stuff like that. But I guess they might. Um, so what what games? I'm trying to think of what games aren't currently available on a handheld like a Steam Deck. But what PlayStation games that you know of would you want to see on that handheld?
I think one franchise they have that's really good is Infamous. Infamous is a
Oh, I
PlayStation
forgot
exclusive.
about that.
Yeah, that'd be super sick
I
on a handheld
forgot about Infamous.
for sure. Um, what else? I mean, Ratchet and Clank, right? Bring back Monster Hunter, but Monster Hunter's global now. But
But better.
on that kind of hardware, right? The whole thing with the PSP was how powerful it was, and I think one of the greatest flexes was putting Monster Hunter on the PSP back then. That was crazy.
Right.
For a handheld console, like back then, you had DS. You know, it was Nintendogs versus
Nintendogs.
practically PlayStation games. You know,
Right. Like it was
like
no competition.
Nintendogs was like the most 3D game you would get on a DS. Um, but yeah, I think they had GTA. They had GTA. I remember that.
Wasn't it just like a cut down version of GTA though? Like it wasn't
Yes, super
real
cut down. I think it was like
GTA.
Chinatown Wars or something.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Chinatown Wars.
Yeah, it was like
Um,
super.
sorry, I'm sharing the links around right now.
No, you're good. I'm taking a peek at the at the GTA for DS.
What is
I
it?
mean, it was no. You know what? I still Nintendogs was definitely
I don't
better than
know.
that.
There are some banger games for the DS. You can't talk shit about Nintendogs. That's all I'm
Looking
saying.
at Nintendogs, yeah, but it was like the most 3D game. You have a room full of dogs,
I don't think so.
and you could interact with them. With other 3D games, I'm not
Hold on,
thinking
I
of.
gotta look at DS games now.
I'm sure there's other ones, but
There was
Nintendogs for sure was
there's a Pokemon
one of
games.
the more accelerated ones. What, black and white?
Yeah, there was also like whole ass. Yeah, Nick said Animal Crossing New Leaf. Um, well, Smash Bros was on the later DS, but I guess that is still a DS.
Yeah, technically counts. Yep.
Riku's saying Chibi Robo. There was a new Chibi Robo.
Oh yeah,
They did one
Park
Call of
Patrol. I
Duty.
forgot about that.
They technically
Okay, you know what? The
had
DS did have some flexes.
they technically had Halo on the DS. Do you know about that?
Oh, and you know what? They did bring Monster Hunter to the
They
DS.
did. Wasn't Monster Money
It's the
Unite?
whole. It was the whole reason. No, I think it was like Ultimate
Oh,
Generations or something.
oh my God, he's here
Uh,
twice. I appreciate your support, Joe. You are a wonderful human
uh,
being. He's in two places at once.
Generations Ultimate.
Joe, you would know what 3D DS game was like, I guess like the best. Let's keep it there.
Saying micro.
Microsoft and Sony. I read it. I'm just like trying to like
Yeah.
think of a correct way to answer to respond.
I was like, what am I looking at?
They are both currently working on a console, on a handheld console. According to the rumors, at least. Microsoft is
Be
definitely
honest.
further along than Sony, though.
I'm probably not going to be interested in the Microsoft one,
No.
and I don't think I'm going to care enough about the Sony one.
Oh, Mario 64 was on DS as well.
Mario, was it really?
Technically, Minecraft was on DS. So, you still didn't answer my question. Did you hear about, or do you know about Halo on the DS? Halo 2?
Oh wow, no.
Halo 2. Um, IGN back in the
Get it
day.
running, Halo DS.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Oh, you're looking at it now? Yeah, back in
Yeah,
the day,
that's nuts.
they got a prototype, and Bungie was like, "No, we're not making it for the DS. No, we're not making it for the DS." And then IGN was
Right,
like, "Well, here's a video of it running on the DS with the prototype we were given."
right.
It was so cool. Um. So yeah, I think
Crazy.
it would be. Anyways, we got a little bit off topic, not too bad.
We're still on
But
games, portables.
but if you think about it, so is a PSP even needed now? because like I'm having trouble thinking of a PlayStation game that isn't not currently, but that would benefit from its own handheld console because you've got the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck gets the Sony games. Like I don't
What did they have? PSP 1, 2, and 3000,
and then Vita. I don't know what the Vita
and they had
models
like
are.
they had the slim ones.
Yeah.
But I think the standard PSPs, like 1 through 3000s,
Yes, I love Digimon
they
Racing.
I think they were great.
The originals.
Yeah, definitely for sure. The Vita, I think, is where they were just a little too far ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Because I remember my exact, I guess everybody's ick in a sense, and this is like not today's term of ick, but like you look at a PS Vita back then, you're like, ew, like I don't want to download my games.
Nasty. Yeah, because like you seriously could not. The times
I don't want to download my games. I want to buy them.
The PS Vita was PS3 timeline, right? End of PS2, early PS3. So like downloading games really wasn't a thing towards the beginning of that. Like it wasn't a thing at all. So asking somebody to download games was actually ridiculous at that point in time, and now it's just like commonplace.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for a new PSP, for nostalgia reasons.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be really hard for them unless they just go back to exclusives only. I think it's going to be really hard for them to justify making a new PSP. That's what I think. So, and the last question I had, which is what current PS5 games would be awesome to have on a handheld form factor? But I wrote that, and all the games I could think of, again, are already on PC and already can be played on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, they're all available. It's like the only IP they got's Infamous.
Well, the other thing is, there's like the games where they're still
that I care about, anyways.
There's the games there where they haven't like released it because they wait a year before it gets released on PC or whatever, like whatever stupid reasoning they have. But even still, it eventually comes to PC anyways. So like Spider-Man 2, I'm still waiting to play Spider-Man 2. I mean,
hey, Monster Hunter World dropped.
Killzone, holy shit, they're on me back.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World dropped, and we waited an entire year to get it on PC.
Yeah. I think 2's on PC. I didn't even know that.
That was what was the PC release date for Monster Hunter World? Initial release date says 2018. It was. I'm getting conflicting information. January 2018. Oh, I thought it was a whole year. That was a couple months. That's all it was. Oh, you know what? I keep saying whole year because it took them a whole year to iron out all the online bugs.
They totally ruined the Black.
But man,
I haven't played it, Nick. I have no clue. Do you want to go to? Actually, let's do because you talked about before we started. I guess let's go into the 5060.
Yeah, I saw that, and I only heard about this briefly. I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't even know that was released.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and read it what I have, but I want to get into what you have.
It's going to bring me to another topic too.
So you know where I'm going with this then.
It's going to tie in.
So let me go ahead and read this off then. Is it actually? Because that's exactly where I'm going to end up playing it, is on the Steam Deck, the Oblivion remaster. For Twitch chat, I guess. Celtier saying that Oblivion remaster on Steam Deck is goated. So,
and Celtier, I guess, is going to be able to talk us up a little bit when we get down to our Or I guess my topic's down the bottom.
Yeah. Well, do one of your topics? Because we don't have to go down the
No, it's
line.
fine. We can work
Okay.
our way down, or I guess, yeah, mine can it can tie in a little bit. We'll do the
Okay.
Switch one after this.
Okay. Oh yeah, that then all this comes together.
The Switch one's big. Yeah.
All right. So on Wednesday, April 16th, reviews for the RTX 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte, RTX 5060 Ti 8 gigabyte, and the RTX 5060 dropped. And they are priced at $430, $379, and $299 respectively. Nvidia claims 50% or 50x performance with their AI generated frames. Hardware, yes.
Whoa.
Correct. Hardware Unbox described the 8 gigabyte variant of the card as an instantly obsolete card, since 8 gigabytes of VRAM is not sufficient for most modern games released in 2025.
Yeah.
LTT complained about Nvidia only sending them one card, and a working drive. Oh, and working drivers less than a week before the embargo releases, which was about 3 days total. 3 business days, I should say. Additionally, they only sent the 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte and not the rest, while other reviewers got the 16 gigabyte version and the 8 gigabyte variants. But it seems like nobody has gotten their hands on just the plain 5060.
Right.
And that's confusing. That's because I'm pretty sure that's the tactic here. I'm pretty sure Nvidia is trying to make it specifically confusing as to what cards
Right.
you're actually getting, because they're all 5060s. They're just different variants. So it's just supposed to confuse you on a spec sheet, is what it seems like.
I will be right back.
Whoa! They get to see Mosquito Cat. Even though MSRP says otherwise, most cards are being found for much higher prices than advertised. Who would have thought? Since, card shortages are a thing and tariffs will also start being a thing. Watch the Hardware Unboxed and Gamers Nexus videos for proper performance overviews. But it's looking like the cards are about 10% faster than the previous RTX 4060 counterpart. And the 8 gigabyte variant of the card running at 4K Ultra is getting a little under half the performance of the 16 gigabyte variant. And that story stays about the same through 1080p and 1440p. To get the performance to match, you have to lower the settings on both cards. So that way the 8 gigabytes can actually breathe on that 8 gigabyte card. So my discussion questions that I had for Yanni, but Yanni is, I guess, going to do whatever Yanni's doing, is, what type of legislation should there be to... Sad I got you up on Twitch and YouTube. Hey, don't be sad about it. You know you want to get double trouble. But what type of legislation should there be to stop manufacturers from doing just essentially paper launches? Because you cannot find any of these cards technically. If you were, let's do a quick Google. RTX 5060 Ti. Oh, not in barcode date. I just want to buy one, please. Nope, I did a T and not a TI. Good job. All right, so I see. Nope, that's a 5070. That's a 5060. Hey, there we go. MSI's online store. A 5060 Ti is $500. Let me see if I can add that so I can show. Is it window capture? Yeah, that's the one I want. And let's do that one. Okay. All right. So this is the first one, the first option that I saw. Like I said, $499, $500. When it's supposed to be what was it, 430. So $70 more. It's not a good start, but let's see. All right, on Walmart, let's just pick the worst one. $719, and this is supposed to be a $430 card. There's a bunch of different reasons as to why. So first of all, hold on. Oh my God, look at this. Okay, so I gotta pull this up. Walmart will price match. Okay. So a 5070, 12 gigabytes is $659. Who in their right mind would buy this? A much worse card for $719. Like, what? How is that a thing? All right. So I realize this isn't. Oh no, there we go. That's all right. Instantly obsolete, like I said. Yeah, it's crazy. So the way we get here, right, is essentially Nvidia releases their cards at their MSRP, what they recommend it should be sold for. And that price is what they will advertise. That price is what they'll tell everybody is what it's going to be released at. The issue is they keep such tight margins for their add-in board partners like MSI, like Gigabyte, like Asus, so on and so forth, whoever the company may be, to where the only way those companies are going to make money is by marking up the cost of the device or the cost of the card. So it's very like you can't sell a card without directly dealing with Nvidia. But at the same time, you can't make money without going over MSRP as an add-in board partner. And so with the add-in board partners raising the price of their card, in addition, or adding in the tariffs as well, really is really the reason how we got here. And the tariffs are seriously not going to and to the customers and say, mark the product between MSRP. Yeah. And the thing is, though, Riku, is they, like, customers are just going to keep buying them. Customers are not going to care that their card costs double what it should be. They just care that the fact that they can get it. Because especially things like scalpers, if you're mining, so on and so forth, they're not going to care how much it costs because they'll make their money back elsewhere with AI, with all sorts of other stuff. Air tank for 80-gallon air compressor at store buys $40 and sells it for $80. Yeah, that's essentially what would be happening. Yeah, literally, essentially. So ironically, that leads into my next topic, which is, or not next topic, but next discussion question, which is, will the gamers, people buying these cards ever actually vote for their wallets? And I wrote that thinking that it was only gamers buying these cards, but I really do think there's a large portion of people, I guess, maybe not buying it for mining, because mining, it really isn't popular anymore, I guess. But like AI workloads and whatnot. I think like things like 4090 or 5090s now, 5080s are going to continue to be out of stock and going to continue to be wild prices. Not just because of the tariffs, but because those, I guess, you know, the cards are just very well tuned for AI workloads and AI tasks. So it it really, I don't see any change in sight for Nvidia stopping what they're doing. I know Yanni kind of came up with a topic previously, or not with a topic, but with an extension to this topic about AMD essentially taking the reins in the gaming market for GPUs, and I guess CPUs as well, because Intel really hasn't been helping a whole lot either. Intel's been kind of falling to the wayside on their CPUs. So will gamers ever vote with their wallet? Probably not, because I don't think gamers are the ones that that are actually buying these cards. And Nvidia will never stop their shenanigans until they realize that I guess they've lost their dominance in the market, which I don't think they will, because they only care about AI cards. That's kind of all it comes down to. Tried my best to ramble on that one. I lost my steam for a bit. So I don't know. What was my? Did I have one more question? No. I had a joking one. I guess I can move on to the next topic, and then whenever Yanni gets back, hopefully he'll come back by the time I'm done reading this one, because there's extra things that I never really looked up about the Eufy make. But Eufy make, which was formerly Anchor Make, has announced their Eufy Make E1 UV printer, allowing users to print full colored UV prints at home. Supported materials that it can print onto include wood, metal, glass, leather, and acrylic, which can be placed on a moving bed measuring about 13 inches by 16.5 inches. There's an optional rotational unit, which allows the E1 to directly print onto rounded objects like mugs and water bottles. So essentially, instead of a traditional 3D printer, which is what they used to have, which was the Anchor Make M5, I guess now, well, no, they delisted the Anchor Make, actually. You can't buy it from them directly anymore. But yeah, instead of a traditional 3D printer, this technically 3D prints, but it's really just a UV printer that lays layers of color to make full color images up to a thickness of 5 millimeters. So you can make dynamic textures, you can make raised like faux paintings and reproducible paintings. So it really is, it's an interesting technology, and it's a departure from what they currently or what they've previously made, not currently made. So while not a 3D printer, the printer can print up to 5 millimeters in height to create some texture on the object. This is the first consumer UV printer that will hit the market, as all other UV printers can only be purchased by large print companies due to their pricing and space requirements. Which, from what I've seen, this is a part of what I needed to look into before the show. From what I've seen, traditional UV printers are huge. Like would probably fill up my entire room type of huge. So the Kickstarter, or the project is currently in a Kickstarter, and will launch eventually at $18.99, with Kickstarter backing pricing it, taking it up to $600 off for backers, according to the Eufy Make website. So what I want to do right now is go to Eufy Make UV printer, and I want to pull you up, but then I also want to pull just a generic UV printer up. Oh, no shit. The Mamaki? I didn't know that was an entry-level printer. Well, now, hold on. Alright, sharing my screen again. Alright, so first of all, let's go over here. So this is the Eufy Make, right? This is the website. It's a whole lot of marketing until you get, well, I mean, I guess the whole thing's marketing. You can see the texture right there up to 5 millimeters, like I said. It recreates painting and whatnot. Hopefully compression doesn't make that, like, makes that pretty obvious as to what it is. 3D textures, auto positioning, all that fun. It has an auto cleaning system instead of having it clean it automatically. It says 90% smaller. But based off of my preliminary Googling, unless this is on wheels, which I guess it might be, these look pretty normal sized. Oh, maybe these are. Hold on. Let's
I've returned.
Oh my god. I was dying.
Ugh. Sorry, I had to give papers to somebody.
Did you shit real hard?
Oh, no, I had to give papers to someone.
This is huge, actually. We're talking about the Anchor Make. Or, sorry, Eufy
Anchor Make.
The Eufy Make, not the Anchor Make.
Eufy Make, got it.
So $28.99 for that one. Yes, okay, so these are pretty huge then. I didn't realize the size was the bigger deal, not the price. The price is about on par. The size is the huge thing. And the fact that it does rounded objects. I was trying to find, I guess, real world examples of what UV printers are currently doing. Or like what size they are, how much they cost. And
right.
They are like the size of maybe half a sedan. So they are pretty huge machines. I didn't realize that. So that's what makes the Eufy Make so awesome, essentially, is the fact that it literally just sits on your desk.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm looking at some of the stuff that this printer can make, and it's like phenomenal.
It's actually so cool.
I think it's weird that they kind of shoved it to their like subsidiary off to Eufy.
Well, I think that's because they bought Eufy, and Eufy's like, because Anchor is definitely just a portable charging brand.
Right.
And Eufy is like the actual useful stuff brand.
That's their smart home stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. Yeah, it's interesting.
The only thing that disheartens me is that they're going out of the 3D printing business, it looks like.
Yeah. No.
I don't know if they're ever going to try for a 3D printer again.
Probably not at this rate. Yeah, right. I had the largest brain fart in the last topic, and I think everybody just left.
Everyone's like, yeah, I'm gone.
My brain.
What was the last topic?
The RTX 4060. Or 5060.
The 4060? The 5060. No, because what I was going to lead in with the 5060 is, what are we looking at here? Gaming desktops, dude. We looked at LTT is doing Secret Shopper. How much are these desktops now?
Mm-hmm.
They're so expensive. The new minimum for gaming desktops is like approaching $2,000.
Really?
It actually is, which is insane. Um, and building it yourself almost doesn't help. They're just so expensive. They're only manufacturing like the most expensive parts. GPUs aside, it used to be GPU could be like the most expensive part of your build, and then you just kind of build around it. But now it's like, if you want to build a computer now, you gotta get the most expensive everything, because all of it's expensive now. And then the only thing available is just super rinky-dink cheap cards.
Right.
And it's just so unbalanced naturally. You can't get cheap processors, you know?
No, not anymore.
It's you can only just get the high-end stuff. I don't know.
And I think what's going to save us, you may agree or disagree, but Intel might be the one to save us. I think they're slowly
they're going to swing in and do it.
It'll be a few years, but I think they're slowly getting back onto, ironically, Pat Gelsinger's trail.
Okay.
And I think they're gonna start sending out some heavy hitters, because
right.
There's a leak. This is a part of what I was starting to tell you before the show.
Yeah.
There's a leak that the next, is it Battle Mage or Celestial, something like that? I think it's Celestial. The next GPU is going to have a 24 gigabyte VRAM cap.
Okay.
And like they're aiming to take out, based off of that. We
have Celestial.
They're aiming to take out the 9070. Based off of that, the 9070 XT.
The XT. Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
So that essentially is the 5070 equivalent. Like Intel is like, all right, we've got our freshman card, we've got our sophomore card. Now it's time to like start playing ball. And you can actually get these cards too. Like they're no longer, what was it, 250 or something like that, for a solid 1080p card, and now you can actually buy them. Like they're no longer sold out everywhere. So
I called it from about
no, go ahead.
No, from like 10th or 11th gen that Intel was piping way too much power into their chips, and that's kind of their strategy.
Absolutely.
Back then, then AMD was catching up to them so fast, and they just kept, it was something new every single year that they were doing, especially when they started stacking chips. They started implementing their HBM ideas, and then going even more extreme, and getting better and better chips every year, just significantly better. And Intel eventually, obviously 13 and 14 gen absolutely flopped. And I didn't think they were going to like flop. I thought for sure they were going to have issues. I knew for sure they were going to have issues.
The microcode thing?
Yeah, they just kept piping more and more and more power into these chips.
Yep.
I'm like, that's all they do every year. It's like the same thing, just more power.
More power.
And it finally flopped. And it almost put them under, which was crazy.
I don't think it
almost insane thing.
I don't think it almost put them under, because their foundry business is a huge part of their business. So I feel like Intel could stop selling chips, like entirely, and just move directly to a foundry business, and they wouldn't.
I think
they would see an impact, but it wouldn't be terrible.
I think they went off way harder, because as soon as they started flopping last year, like once all the chip stuff happened, their stock is under half what it used to be.
Yeah, actually, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's brutal. Because they were floating around $40, 40 and even $50. Yeah, their stock last year.
Let's do 1 year. Oh my god!
And then as soon as their chips,
let me share my screen again.
Yeah, as soon as their chips started rolling, it plummeted, and then they found out that didn't fix it, and then it plummeted again, and it's just about stayed there.
Let's see. It
So
peaked.
I don't want Intel to fail. It peaked during COVID, like
It
almost
looks like
every
it
other
peaked
company.
It looks like it peaked at $35 in the last year.
Yeah.
Well, the last 5 years it peaked at about $68 in 2021.
Yeah.
April, specifically. Oh, that's 2000. I didn't realize they were on the market for so long.
Oh yeah.
Ironically,
CPU.
overall, they peaked at like $90.
Right.
Back in literally June of 2000.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
Big
besides
booms.
the point.
Yeah. But no, this definitely almost set them under, which is why the government stepped in and said, "Hey, you and TSMC, yeah, make a deal."
Right.
Because the government didn't give up on Intel. Because again, they're not really They say they're not really for monopolies. But it's monopolies that they don't want to happen, I guess.
Well, the other thing is, Intel is...
They immediately hit off contracts, right? Intel was plummeting, and the government's like, we'll make contracts with you just so you don't go completely under.
I think Intel, the other thing with Intel is they're the only one really, like, pushing to get a mainstream foundry in America. Like, TSMC is now, but Intel was the one who started the push. I think that plays a part into it.
And I think they learned now from the whole 13-14 gen fiasco, and how badly they tanked. And I really hope they take a step back and learn from this. And the thing that's a little depressing is AMD was actually on a really good track. And I guess this leads into, was it one of my topics, or
you had an idea as a potential?
Oh, it was potential. I didn't really look it up because we could just talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nvidia's losing ground right now. Intel's just baking. And not everything is there with Intel, so that's just kind of coasting. And AMD, are they missing their chance to step in? You know? And are AMD and Nvidia way too absorbed in the enterprise business?
I don't think AMD is yet. I think they're
because AMD's getting there, and they are.
They're trying to be the server guys.
Right.
Because their EPYC chips are crazy. Actually,
Insane.
Crazy chips.
Yeah.
So Intel or AMD plus Nvidia chips in a machine is actually nuts.
Unstoppable. Yeah.
And now Intel's the one going to the wayside and being, the way of AMD bulldozer essentially.
I think the roles are starting to flip.
Yeah. Well,
Intel got on their high horse.
I think they have.
You think it has flipped?
Yeah, for sure.
I won't say it has flipped until I see Intel actually get in the game. Because right now the only thing we have is potential, and we don't have any kinetic energy yet.
Are you talking about? I thought you were saying AMD is taking the role of Intel now.
No, because the way it used to be is so it's like back in the day, right? You had Intel was super expensive CPUs.
Right.
They're just super expensive. Team Blue. They had really good processors, especially when they took up hyper-threading and then had that patent on it. AMD was just everywhere else. ATI, they were, with GameCube, they were trying to get into consoles, and they were just working around that. They were very, prosumer as much as they could be.
Right.
And they were like that all the way up until very recently. Because one thing that they held was, especially when the hyper-threading patent went up, and during that time, 2016-17, they did Ryzen.
Right.
That started to blow Intel out of the water. And on top of that, Nvidia started making very high-end cards.
Yep.
Very, very high-end cards. But Intel or AMD was just holding the market tight by making their mid and low-end cards.
Right.
They did that extremely well. and nobody ever points them out because that's more of an underdog situation.
Yep.
But now it's just kind of flipped. Intel just got completely stomped on. Nvidia's not moving for the consumer market at all, unless it's enterprise. And AMD has so much room to just step in and do anything, and they're doing nothing.
Well,
They are just actually doing nothing.
I don't know if they're doing nothing. They like really have pushed hard with the 9070. They made sure their drivers were good for the 9070 launch. Same thing. I mean, Ryzen, they've been pushing hard. They don't have to push a whole lot harder with Ryzen. Ryzen, they've
How
pretty much
accessible is a 9070 right now? Are they pretty accessible?
I believe so. Maybe not for MSRP, but you can.
Are they just absurdly expensive?
They're absurdly expensive.
Yeah, they're absurdly expensive, and they're sold out.
And they're sold out? I thought they were pretty,
Yeah.
Yeah, Newegg.
Newegg actually has them?
Yeah.
Or are they stuck with combos?
No. I have a Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX 9070 for $879.
For $879, that's wild. It's completely sold out through...
And then whatever Robin Boutique is, has it for a normal price. Yeah, when we were doing the 5060 topic, I showed two cards. One of them was the 5060 Ti, and it was like $700. And then right next to it was a 5070 Ti for like, I think it was $619. I'm like, why would you get why is the 5060 ever higher than a 5070? That's
okay.
insane.
Well, let me actually pull this up real quick.
Are you looking it up now?
Well, the 9070 XT MSRP is 600.
$799. 600. Yeah. Not in stock at Best Buy.
And so the one that you can get is $280. It's almost $300 more than MSRP.
How about? Hey, look at that. Micro Center has one. ASRock for $699.
That's good if you have a Micro Center near you. I'm saying, like, these aren't readily, like, available. And they also don't have very good prices.
So I may...
We're still talking at almost $1,000.
I may be confused. Because I keep hearing that cards aren't readily available, and yet I can see, like, cards... I can swipe my card and get a 30 or a 9070 here by the end of the week.
How much, though?
$699. This is Micro Center. Oh,
so
no,
if
I'm
you
reading
look
the
up
Micro Center site wrong. It says buy in store. I
yeah.
can go to the store and buy one.
Yeah, because they won't ship that online, but there's only like 30 Micro Centers in all the U.S.
That's fine. That's all that matters. Go to the store.
Yeah, just drive there. Now, what I'm getting to is, though, gaming PCs, minimum, are starting to build up to almost $2,000.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Absolutely.
Nvidia's to absorb somewhere else. They just had a 5060 launch, and that was just garbage. It's a paper launch. It did literally nothing.
Right.
Because people are just scraping by to get any freaking card they can get. AMD won't step in.
It's if you don't need to fucking upgrade, don't upgrade. Like,
yeah, right.
That was the way
I think of people that got into a 3070, right?
Yeah. Well, like the same way
they got into a 3070, like,
or 3080.
Right.
It's like, did he really need to upgrade? If you're watching, I apologize, but I am slightly calling you out. Did you really need to upgrade? He had a 3080. Like, I'm thankful for it. But still, it's like, damn.
And some people are on the grind to upgrade, but these are the people, right, that the market appeals to.
Right.
That's not a majority of the market. The majority of the market now is just trying to get any card. That's not a completely hammered up price.
Right.
Um, I don't know. The gaming and GPU market right now is completely thrashed.
While
And
you were gone, I also brought up a what I thought was a fairly interesting angle.
yeah,
So mining is no longer like it's a thing, but it's not a thing.
right.
Um,
It's like low key.
fucking excuse me, hold on. Yeah, it's a thing, but it's not a thing. So
Right.
the big thing now is AI and AI workloads.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I'm like, well, is it really gamers buying these? I mean, I'm sure, like, it probably is, but I also think that a lot of it is probably related to, um, like people needing to buy cards for AI things, running AI at home, AI research, so on and so forth.
Right.
Um, so I wonder if that's where the cards are going instead of like that's what it's being scalped for now, I should say, not just for
Right.
gamers. Um,
It's crazy though, because you think even in the brick and mortar locations,
yeah, gone. I'm not
like,
surprised.
across the country, there's no like focused area or any,
I mean,
you know,
that's what happened with during the 30 and 40 series is they were scalped, but that was for mining, that wasn't for anything else. Um,
right. But
so
even that 30 series and early 40 series is at least attainable. Right. You get to 50 series,
yeah.
there's practically nothing.
Well, I think that's
Or like
also like
even just last year, you could still get a gaming system last year for like 750, 850, right?
I think that also falls on to like the whole paper launch side of things. I don't think that's necessarily I'm
Because
trying to
now
think of
it's an
how to
obvious issue.
right. Well, I think Nvidia made a lot of paper launches this time around.
Tons.
And I think
Tons.
that's the real issue when it comes to availability of Nvidia cards.
Right.
AMD cards, I mean, that's just a thing.
Right.
You can't do a
But
whole
you
lot
look at
with
the
those chips.
9070 XT, right? If they just, I get it, they got to make money.
Right.
But like, you know, AMD could have just, they were prosumer for the longest time. And this kind of goes to show, this definitely goes to show they're now out of the prosumer market. They're just back into,
They're in it for the
um,
money.
yeah, they're into enterprise just like Nvidia. And Intel is just dragging it. They're trying anything right now.
Right.
Them dumping hyper threading, I still think is insane, but they're making it work, and it seems like it's working very well.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that Intel does extremely well is DDR5 compatibility and
Yeah.
performance. So far, a majority of systems I throw XMP or Expo on AMD systems, it sucks. But I build a new core, a core 2 Ultra.
Yeah.
What do they call it? 2 Ultra or Ultra 2?
I don't even ask me.
It's one of those, but the
That's a
the
stupid
new
thing.
Ultras, I build on those and their DDR5 platforms. I'll enable XMP or XMP on that, and it just works,
Mm-hmm.
and it works very well. I don't know the long term performance, but
Right.
honestly, I after what they just went through, I would be more than confident to say I'm sure it's reliable and I'm sure it's extremely stable.
Right.
And people like these chips. If I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure the new Core Ultra.
Well, they did all right.
Uh,
They didn't. They still didn't stick the landing on things.
right,
But it wasn't perfect. It was definitely flawed, very flawed.
right. Because if I go to shopping,
DDR5 XMB has been hit or miss. Yeah, Yanni specifically talking about with Intel chips that's been pretty consistent with Intel chips.
XMP specifically, like for Intel, phenomenal. Expo every time. Yeah, every time I build a unit, I just don't enable it. I enable it the first time, like get BIOS up to date, enable it, and then we just run with it through the rest of the drivers and everything else. But every time there's an issue, and I just end up disabling it, and I throw it down in notes. I'm like, hey, just don't turn it on.
Right.
It's not worth it. And it sucks because you're paying for that speed,
Joke's
but you're
on
just
you.
not getting it.
Joke's on you. I forget it exists, so I don't turn it on anyways.
Yeah, right.
I inadvertently save you the headache because I forget it exists.
But check this out, right? I'm looking right now at a Core Ultra 5, 245K. Phenomenal reviews. People love this thing. 270. So is Intel actually gonna try and make this? Can you get a pure Intel build? Right? What if they just jump back in and start making motherboards again? Do you remember old Intel motherboards?
No, I don't actually.
Intel motherboards were super sick. You get them like blue and black, and they had a little blue skull logo on them.
Oh, I do remember those now.
Yeah, those were insane.
Wasn't one of their releases called Skull Canyon? Because of that,
probably. It might have been based around that.
What was the one that we both built on the platform we built on? Was it Devil's Canyon, Devil Lake, something like that?
I think so. It was Intel 4th gen.
Yeah.
Out of 4790K.
Nope, it's Haswell. Well, that's yes. But like, what's the Emerald Rapids? That doesn't sound right.
Don't like what Google's doing. Google's pissing me off. I click on Google Shopping, and that's it. You're just stuck on Google Shopping. I can't go back to.
It's fucking annoying.
I can't go back to my search.
Let's look.
Or why?
With the FinFET process. Oh my god, I haven't heard those words in a long time.
This is actually so stupid.
Don't forget.
And I'm so mad right now.
Don't forget the FinFET process. Fin your FET.
Google
compared to Ivy Bridge. Okay, but what
getting
bridge?
worse?
Are we both?
Why do I have to cut this and paste it back into my browser?
Is it Devil's Canyon? It has to be Devil's Canyon. Intel Devil's Canyon. That's what it was. It was Devil's Canyon.
Do me a favor and make sure I don't have brain damage here.
You do.
Go on Google and type in like 4790K and click on shopping. How do
47,
you get back?
4790K. Hold on, let's do this. Let's do this live. Everybody can see it. All right, so 4790K. Right. Hello. Thank you. And then click on shopping. How do you get? Oh. Okay. Hold on. Let's show a little more for the people.
Yeah, am I dumb here, or is this?
Can I like do this? There we go, and you can see a little more. Without having to see my tabs. Yeah.
I actually can't go back to search.
It's just the back button. Like just the back button.
Oh, like physically go back. Yeah.
It's a different website now that you're
I know, but it's still google.com.
They really want you to buy shit.
Wow. I don't like this at all. Okay. I just have to check my sanity there.
No, yeah, it's okay. You're insane. We've known
that sucks. That actually sucks.
Really named knockoff LAN Show?
Just LAN Show. Yeah, 100%.
Literally. It's not even wrong.
We're not reaching wide.
No, we're not.
We're only reaching a very local audience.
Yes, this is the local area. Also, ain't gonna be a GPD Win in the title. Isn't that just gonna be the GB? What? I guess you're not wrong. Hold on, I have to Google this now. I didn't. You're like breaking my brain right now. GPD Win. Because you might have actually just pointed out. So, oh my god, holy shit! Yanni, you might have to look at the stream because I don't think I can share my screen. This
Yeah, let
is
me check.
what that's actually that okay, that has to be like copyright infringement. There's no fucking way. This is an actual product. Oh my god, it has the AI9HX 370. That's okay. I didn't know this existed till just now. Yeah, you are absolutely right. It is literally just going to be this. Can you see it, Yanni?
I'm looking at it right
Oh,
now.
hold on, let me do this for you, so you can actually try and get a full picture of it.
GPD Win 4?
You never heard of this?
No.
Dude, yeah, GPD, if I remember correctly, was the ones who technically started handheld PC gaming. Because back in
Was
the
it
day,
GPD or INEO?
they borrowed and they borrowed some more. No, I'm serious, GPD, because they had uh, GPD
But it's made in China and China bad.
kind of bad. GPD original handheld.
Shenzhen.
Yeah, the GPD Win gamepad. This was like their original, released in like maybe 2015 is my guess. I can't remember when I first saw it. It was when I first got into PC gaming. But like this is actually pretty sick. Well, I don't want to advertise for this person, but
Whoa.
are you seeing it now? It had an Intel Atom. That's how old it is, if that helps.
Intel Atom. I mean, that's gross.
Yeah, but this was also like
On a handheld.
2017. Like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is old. Is there a date on this by chance? No, can't even.
I remember these now. Yeah.
Yeah, they were sick. I mean, maybe not for the
And
performance.
it's also got an Oculink port.
They do? Holy crap, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
I was looking to see INEO started a little bit after.
Yes.
GPD Win was the first handheld gaming PC to be announced and crowdfunded. It was announced in October of
and
2015.
successfully released. Okay, yeah, I was
and
right.
released in October 2016.
So, GPD Win has been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's officially 10 years for them. So,
That's crazy. GPD.
So,
yeah, I can't remember where I was even taken off from.
I don't
just
know.
like top topic. We kicked all that off from Nvidia losing ground.
Yeah, we got pretty off topic.
I guess full circle around. Is Intel gonna be
over?
the new
underdog?
Like I say prosumer, but not prosumer in that sense, but like pro consumer. Not like professional consumer.
Right. I think 5 years time we'll be singing a different tune. AMD will be starting to lose ground to Intel. And what did I just read? Hold on. I used to play VR on a PC with an AMD FX 9370. Oh my god, which only used 40% of my 2060 because it was bottlenecked. Oh my god.
I remember what I had. I started off with an FX 4100.
Wasn't that the one that like caught fire? Like actually?
My 8350. I had an FX 4100. I upgraded to an 8350 because I was at an age. Dude, I was like 14 or 15. Right. I was like, more cores, more power. So, when the chip's called Bulldozer.
It's gotta be good.
Yeah, totally. So I got the FX 8350, and I felt like no difference. I went from a 4100 to an 8350. I maybe got like 10 extra frames.
This is
And
lame. I
I
don't
felt
want
like
it
no
anymore.
difference.
Can I return it?
And then I was like, maybe I could overclock this. And I still remember Robertson was over at my house, and I had my window cracked open. It was a brisk winter night. Like I left Prime 95 running on my system after I put a tiny little overclock on my CPU, and I had the stock cooler on it. And
Oh,
immediately,
no.
Mom was like, "Hey, food's ready." I just got up and like, I got up, took off, got some food. I came back, and I like, oh, my monitors are off. And like, wiggle my mouse. I tap my keyboard, and I hear like a grinding, and then I hear a pop, and I see a spark out of my system, and I was like, oh.
I remember you.
And right before that happened,
calling me and telling me about this too.
yeah, there was so much that happened when I got back. Because I got back, my monitors just dimmed. I smelled burning, but I thought it was like it smelled like a fire pit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had my window open. I was like, okay, someone has a fire out there somewhere. And as soon as I like re-wake my monitors up, I guess the energy spike must have completely cooked the processor.
Right. That's so fucking funny.
That's when I upgraded to Intel.
I've luckily never had a computer spectacularly fail like that. I did
Rude.
the most.
Who doesn't?
The craziest failure I think I've had was that one where you and an old coworker came over to the house when I was playing with the Mac, my Mac, not your Mac.
Yeah.
And we were making the jokes about welcome to your new Windows 10 PC.
Oh, how your screen's just gonna fall back.
Yeah, it just falls back, turns into an X360.
Flip it around. Yeah, it's just a 2-in-1.
But yeah, my drive. That's how I learned that you're not supposed to fill solid state drive. I learned that the hard way. Because my drive was a 128 GB drive, and I booted Windows, and Windows was like, this isn't working anymore. And so you and the coworker came over, and you guys were trying everything you could think of, and like, yeah, this shit's toast. And then so we reinstall Windows, and then it just died again. And it's like, oh, the drive is toast.
Right.
Like, not only did I kill Windows, I killed the drive.
Sufficiently sauced.
So never fill your solid state drives fully. So I am impressed that you used an FX 9370 till now. Like the fact that you were using that in 2025 this
January this year.
Yeah. 2025.
Whoa.
I hope whatever upgrade you got is one of the plays of PC games with him. I hope whatever upgrade you got has like opened up your like just
Dude, no shit. Like an
so
8th gen
better. Like I don't even know.
An 8th gen i3 probably would have been a significant upgrade. Like that is crazy. That had to be like the most night and day. An HP Stream probably would have had more horsepower.
Oh, and just imagine how much power it was drawing too.
Right,
there's a 2060 actually in there. Oh
my god. Minecraft, Roblox, and GTA.
But I'm sure you got more frames now.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember. I was still running on a hard drive, right?
Yeah.
So when I got the 4790, Windows booted up so fast, I could not believe it. I'm like, I'm still on a hard disk here. Like, how did I just gain like? How did I cut like 15 seconds of my boot time? It is amazing, like how far processors have come.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I first spec'd out my build, my very first build. Oh, speaking of, I forgot to tell you this. The box that my case came in, my first case, I just threw it away. It has been like I've just used it to store random things this entire time.
Yeah.
And nothing was wrong with the box. The box was perfectly fine. Like there's no damage to it other than just taking shit in and out of it. And I'm like, well, this is a 10-year-old box. I can get rid of this. So it's tossed in the dumpster.
Wow. That's crazy.
The first processor you got me, or you told me to get, was like a AMD A8 like APU, and you were like, yeah, this is gonna be great because you don't need the GPU. And I'm like, okay, cool,
Oh yeah, the
sick.
integrated graphics.
I'm like,
Yep.
cool, sick. And then I tried to build it myself, and I like royally fucked it up because I didn't put fans on anything.
Right.
And then I went to go play Cube World. I was like, oh man, this is running so well because I tried to play it on a laptop before.
Right.
Man, this is running so well. And I was only getting like 20 frames. And then eventually I updated to like an actual GPU. And I'm like,
Right.
oh my god, I was missing out on
Whoa.
so much.
Yeah.
It's
So
not even funny.
I still remember it was the Kaveri A107850K. That
Yeah,
was
that's what it was.
like back then. That was like earth shattering.
Because an APU wasn't a thing. And that was the whole point behind it, was like, well, this is how you're going to get into the market, and it's going to be
Oh,
halfway decent.
they had APUs. They were like the integrated graphics were just kind of meh, but AMD like really pushed the envelope. They're like, well, we're making like the APU, like one that matters, and they did it at the time, and it was pretty okay. And it's funny to see AMD bringing it back.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is the the AI chips, right?
Right.
AI 390.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean,
That
seeing it
is,
run Black Myth,
dude,
Wukong.
I was so upset. Speaking of,
That
you
was
for some
nuts.
reason you just unearthed a complaint of mine. The
Yeah, did I?
framework laptops, dude, I was so upset.
Right.
They didn't put the fucking AI chips in the laptops. Like
Yeah.
you had
Yep.
one job. You had one
And
job.
seeing how thin these systems are too.
Seriously.
Like
Because
that.
that
It was an Asus.
yeah, the tablet.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what that was the like
The
super
gaming
impressive thing.
tablet. It's like, holy crap.
Right.
I'm sure that you were you're surprised about how smooth Windows was, because that is a huge difference. They upgraded from their FX
I'm looking at that
3970
now.
to the 2700X.
2700X. That's
That is a
insane.
crazy
Yeah.
difference. Absolutely night and day. Paid almost $1,000. That is not bad. And hopefully you kept your same GPU, because the 2060 is pretty good.
Yeah, 2060 rocks.
Even nowadays.
That thing is worth more than gold right now.
Yeah. Um.
A budget GPU, please.
Well, I guess speaking of handhelds, do you want to go to your Switch 2 topic?
Yeah, it's kicked down to the Switch. What do we got here? Good thing is in the United States, we have Nintendo is now absorbing the. They finally released the prices again. They're absorbing the cost of the console, but they're deflecting it over to their accessories.
I
But
think,
instead of
speaking of, I think they built in, like, the reason it's 450 is because they built this in. I feel like it was built in
right,
originally, and now they're just adding on the accessories just in case.
right,
I feel like they expected
that,
something.
I feel like they're still absorbing quite a bit of the cost
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
everything they
Yeah.
between the engineering and everything, and they upgraded the. This is going to be a pretty sick little console.
Right.
For 450, considering the price of hardware today. I mean, have you seen how much flash is going up right now?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Like terabyte solid states are starting to near $100 again, when you used to get them for like 55. They're like slowly creeping back up. I see you got a 3060 off your brother, and then 2060 was passed down. Yeah, they both rock. They're awesome GPUs.
Yeah, the 3060 is one to hold on to for sure.
You'd be going with the 7800 XT, not the 9070 XT.
Yeah, get the 9070. Come on, spend more money, but I mean it's worth it. Especially no, get the 9070. We talked last week about the BIOS mod. Actually, UFD Tech
Oh yeah,
over the weekend.
9070. Yeah.
Over the weekend, UFD Tech released a really good video. They BIOS modded a 9070 they had, and theirs, if I remember correctly, was beating a 9070 XT.
That
And I
was the
like,
word going around. Yeah, that's
I'm like,
crazy.
that's pretty awesome.
Right.
Um,
But
yeah.
Just kick it back over to the Switch too. Looks like currently they're going to continue to absorb the cost. $450 for the base console USD, $500 for the Mario Kart World bundle. Price accessories, they kind of deflect everything off to their accessories, but it's like, I think maximum we saw was like $5, maybe $10. And Nintendo just put it as due to market conditions.
Mm-hmm.
We have a full release for the consoles on June 5th. And it also looks like I was kind of getting mixed signals when I was running through the articles here. But it may be a mash of both. I know Best Buy is doing a midnight launch, and I think I'm seeing here that I think GameStop and Target too, and maybe Walmart are also doing midnight launches. But outside of that, if I go back to my notes here, pre-orders go live on April 24th. That's known for GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, and Target. They have their pre-orders date to April 24th. Amazon is currently a maybe so far. Everybody's assuming Amazon, but
I'm surprised that they wouldn't jump on board.
They haven't said anything yet, and it is 2 days away. Unless they just shadow drop it, you know?
They could. Maybe that's their way to fight scalpers.
One thing I saw is GameStop stated that they'll be accepting pre-orders in stores and online starting at 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
They'll be taking pre-orders in store.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
That is bizarre.
Is it?
I guess they're just going to. They've got to have a fixed. Well, they've got to. I'm just saying for a console, right? We're in an age right now where it's so hard to like pre-order or get anything. But I guess they have a fixed allotment, like a guaranteed allotment to the store locations. They know they're physically going to have a launch day, so maybe they'll just do like 50. But then there's that rumor going around that they're going to have like 100. And then they're going to have like another 100 to just sell. And that's per store.
Right.
Just like, how many consoles can you possibly have? Right?
I mean, there were those rumors that they've just been making consoles for the past, like,
and
basically a year.
Nintendo said it too. They said, don't worry, everyone will get a console.
They've been prepared.
And it's seeming like it's more and more true the closer we get. Because they must have a huge count of devices in the United States right now for them to effectively absorb whatever the tariff cost is.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's pre-orders for GameStop, and then Best Buy, Target, Walmart. From what I've seen, will go live at midnight for the pre-orders.
Okay.
So not only are they going to have a midnight launch on June 5th, it'll be the night of June 4th. But on the 24th, so tomorrow night, if you stay up till midnight,
you could see
you'll have an opportunity.
You can see
for Eastern. I guess I should be specific. It's midnight Eastern. So it's going to be even earlier going over to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Best Buy, Target, and Walmart will have pre-orders going live 12 a.m. EST on the 24th. But that's tomorrow night, the night of the 23rd.
If you stay up late, you can see Shigeru Miyamoto coming down your chimney reminding you to pre-order the Switch.
So
Reggie Fils-Aimé. Coming down, telling you to get a Switch.
But I'm definitely pumped for that. I'm going to see where I can get mine from. If I recall correctly, I think Nintendo is going to have theirs sometime in May. So if I happen to miss
the pre-orders.
if I happen to miss one of the retailers, I'm going to go over to.
So that's another thing. The other day we were talking about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if you wouldn't be able to pre-order the entire day on the 24th, based off of how
You
Nintendo's
think
been
so?
talking. Based off of how they've been
Right.
talking, I feel like it'll be 6 o'clock on Thursday, and I'll still be able to pre-order something like 6 p.m. Thursday,
You think so? They say a majority of the consoles are going to be the Mario Kart bundles.
which makes sense. That's gonna be the one
Something crazy,
the
like
one that makes
70% of the consoles.
that's the one that makes the
Yeah.
most sense. Like,
Right.
who would buy just the console? Get the
And
new
it is
game.
kind of bizarre. This looks like one of the like more polished Mario Karts in recent years. Honestly, since freaking Double Dash is still hits like so hard.
Right.
Um, I feel like this is probably going to be the most polished since Double Dash. I don't know if it's going to beat it. But it's definitely going to be one of the most polished. I mean, otherwise the game's $80. You might as well just save the $30.
Right.
And I guess talking about the $80 stuff, I'm wondering if Nintendo is going to hold keep the $100 voucher around for 2 games.
$100 voucher around.
Yeah, if you didn't know, they have a $100 voucher that gets you 2 games. And
Didn't know
that's
that.
how one of our coworkers constantly does that. Considering he has multiple kids.
Right.
So and also between him and his wife, they also like to game on the Switch. So to save money on games, because if you get two $60 games, you get $120, or you can do the $50 or $100 game voucher. The game voucher gets you that game for that much.
Well, if only I played games more often, that might be enticing.
Yeah. I think Costco has a deal on it that makes it cheaper.
Everybody's gonna be lining up at Costco for their pre-orders.
Yeah, actually, just for the game cards,
I
not the
wonder
cards, but like the game
on.
cards. Yeah.
That does make me think about something. I wonder if Costco's scalp proof.
If they're scalp proof.
You
I mean,
have to have an account to buy something.
based off the Pokemon cards, no.
Oh, really?
I mean, you need to be a Costco member, but that's
Yeah, that's
doesn't
whatever.
matter.
You have to pay
Yeah, they got some managers. Some managers are cool with it. They're like, you're gonna get one, you're gonna get one, you're gonna get one, and they're checking address and they're just running it that way. But I don't know. It'd be cool if the world kind of just got on the same page and just did not allow that animalistic behavior.
That is kind of,
because that is like barbaric and dumb. Just kind of like raiding into anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's bizarre.
It is strange.
So, but that's the Switch 2 pre-order details. We're looking pretty good so far. I'm pumped. I just want to see their stock so bad.
I feel confident that it'll be Friday. It'll be Friday. It'll be next Friday, and I'll still be able to pre-order a game or a console.
GameStop. Like that still blows my mind. Is they're looking at midnight launch. This is just awesome. It brings back such a core nostalgia, right? Like you can have a midnight launch for a console. Like when was the last time we do midnight launch for games, but games are so boring now.
Yeah.
There's no
one ever comes in.
Speaking of games, I'm just gonna get this one out of the way. Oblivion Remastered dropped.
Yeah, seemingly out of the blue. Like I wasn't.
It was rumored.
Anything. Oh, okay. See, I wasn't keeping up with anything, but yeah.
If you were really following it, it was rumored because I learned this from Saltier earlier in the week or last week. He was saying that he's always wanted nothing more than to just like shadow drop a game or a remaster.
Right.
And I think that was within the last week. So with it creeping in, and they just a day or two ago, they were like, all right, we're going to have an announcement. And they just throw the trailer out. They're like, there you go, available today. which is why that was so huge at the end.
Yeah, I was watching a trailer of it. I guess when it was announced today.
Right.
And how like the reveal of the old guy talking in the beginning. For the record,
Right.
I've never played this game, so I don't know who the fuck's talking in the beginning. But seeing him in 2000s graphics, looking all pasty and like 2 polygons,
Right.
and then it just like fades to it's like a jump scare almost. It's like, oh, holy shit!
Right.
Like with how just wildly different the graphics quality is.
Dude, this
Like,
year,
holy shit!
Elder Scrolls 4 is gonna be 20 years old.
Yeah, dude. Let's see.
You know, almost
Whoa.
20 years later, they
Skyrim?
remaster it.
Oh no, Oblivion.
Elder Scrolls 4, yeah,
See,
Oblivion specifically.
again, I don't play these games, so I don't actually know.
So neither do I. I've never played Skyrim. I've never played Fallout either.
I enjoyed Fallout. I enjoyed Fallout a lot.
But after 20 years, right? If I like Mario Sunshine, right? If they remastered Mario Sunshine, did something crazy more, like I would totally be all over it. So that's the feeling that I get. Same thing with Chibi Robo.
Right.
Right? They showed that that's coming out for the GameCube emulation. I just about freaking lost it. So I'm saying Oblivion remastered, and it's like a true remaster.
Right.
It's not. It's the game's been like reworked.
There we go.
They took it, pulled it to a new engine, and
that guy. That's the guy that gave the jump scare.
Built it. I'm gonna pull this up.
Sorry, I just like slapped the trailer up. I was like, because I saw that. No, damn it, I missed it again. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, it's so HD.
I'm watching it, but we had getting to it.
Not the Gates of Oblivion. Probably shouldn't play this whole thing on here, but
it was that
you get the idea.
Yeah.
It's like it's just wildly, and so hold on. For the record, let's not. We have to give context. Let's do. I found a side by side comparison. The top is 2005. The bottom is today. That's such a wild difference.
Let me see if I can get this back up here. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's actually
and the thing is, like I was saying, they took it through into a new engine and then like reconstructed it.
Right.
They completely reworked it. It's not garbage. I mean, I haven't seen the reviews yet, but just looking at the bit of gameplay and everything,
right?
It doesn't look like it's garbage. It looks like it's going to be pretty good.
All right. There's 2 kinds of remastered: GTA San Andreas, Final Fantasy VII. This one's definitely a Final Fantasy. Wasn't San Andreas remastered in the trilogy? Is that the reference? And am I understanding that right?
I believe so.
Because that was the GTA trilogy, and it was just like, I think it still is broken. It's been released for at least 2 years.
It wasn't good at all, which is why I didn't really. The GTA thing that recently happened too with 5.
What was that?
They polished up GTA 5, and now you have GTA 5 Legacy in your library, and then something else.
Gross.
I don't know if you noticed, but if you pull up your Steam library, yeah, look at Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, you have GTA 5 Legacy and Enhanced.
Oh, that is gross.
And the Enhanced edition looks practically no different.
Cool.
It's like, yo, I'm riding around on a bike doing missions. I like none of this looks any different. It barely looks any different at all.
Texture mod. You know, I wonder how the 3080 would handle that, Yanni.
Yeah,
exactly the same.
Should
No
have got the
difference.
5090.
Fuck, you're right.
Should have got the
Why
5090.
did I do this to myself?
But yeah, then getting into Skyrim. Should I get into it?
I mean, yes. I'm just gonna say
Yeah, I don't
yes.
know.
What?
I barely have time to write down these topics. Getting into this is like I don't even know if I want to allocate that kind of time to it because
Yeah.
this is a game that can just eat up so much time.
The thing is,
Just getting lost into it, I could spend days playing something like this.
I've always wanted to play some. I guess I have Skyrim, so I should just play Skyrim, to see
Right?
if I would like it. But I really want to go back. Like I'm itching to get my yearly replay of Half-Life going.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Dude, you have to play Half-Life. Like
I have to play
there
Half.
is,
When they come out with Half-Life 3, I'll replay Half-Life.
you've never played it though.
Yeah, I know. So when they come out with 3, I'll then play 1, 2.
Because you said you'll replay it. I'm like,
3.
motherfucker, you haven't even played it yet. The next Steam sale, just buy it. It's usually like $5 for all of them.
That's a lot of money.
What the fuck,
And 3 isn't out.
Mr. Snack Wrap over here.
Hey, they haven't announced it yet.
But
I don't. They got a rumored release date.
yeah, because Half-Life 3 is like there's been the memes for years now. Oh, Half-Life 3 is coming out this year. But like there's been actual development on Half-Life 3, and Gabe Newell was like, "Hey, we might actually do this now."
Right.
Because at the 25-year anniversary, I think it was 20-year anniversary of Half-Life 2, they released that documentary about it. And
Right.
at the end of the documentary, Gabe's like, Half-Life 3 never came along because we wanted it to be perfect. And now we're just like, well, it's stupid to make that the reason why we don't make a game. It's like,
Right.
and so Half-Life Alyx was there, like, test the waters, like, can we still do this type of game?
Right.
And they definitely could still do it. So,
And Valve
I'm
calculates
so ready, dude.
very hard.
Sometimes.
Like very, very, very hard.
With
I
a-
mean,
with a
something's
large-
flopped, like the
with a-
Steam controller.
With a large
You got people that
asterisk there.
completely freaking swear by the Steam controller. I can't use it.
I've never
There's no
touched
way
it.
I can use it. Yeah, it's not great. To
Um,
me, anyways, it's not great. Some people swear by it. I can't get behind it.
But there's also
I really tried. The Steam Link failed pretty hard too.
the original Steam machine. That's the word. Steam
Yeah.
machine flopped hard.
Right.
And wasn't there a game that just like
Look at Dota 2
wasn't
versus
there a
League.
game that just like died? Like they made it, wasn't it a card game, right? That Valve made, and it was just a super flop. I want to say it was a card game.
NVSO2 Pyro Valve failure.
Is that it?
I don't even know what I'm looking at. I didn't know Valve even made.
That's all right. We don't got to worry about it. They don't call Half-Life Alyx Half-Life 3 because technically it's not a sequel, it's a prequel. Gordon Freeman does not. All the main Half-Life games, based off that documentary, I believe, all the main Half-Life games are Gordon Freeman as the protagonist. So if you're not playing as Gordon Freeman, you're not playing a main Half-Life game. That's what I've gotten out of that. That's why technically Portal is not a Half-Life game, even though it takes place in the same universe.
Imagine being a
you've played
partial
Portal.
allocator.
You've played Portal, but you've never played Half-Life. What the fuck?
I have played Portal. I like Portal.
Like a fucking animal over here.
I should play it. I really should. There's a lot of games I really should play. And just
do yourself a favor.
I have the attention span for it.
Do yourself a favor and play Half-Life 1. And like don't play Black Mesa. Black Mesa is, you have to have the original experience of Half-Life 1. It's probably like $2 on Steam right now. Like, it's, for a while there you could get it for free because it was the anniversary. I'm surprised you just didn't pick it up for free. But
I might have.
Half-Life 1 is
I have
a
Half-Life.
yeah, there you go. Half-Life 1 is a game where you can just start it. It'll download in seconds, by the way. Um, but it's a game
500
that you
megs.
can just start.
That's a lot of space. I don't think I would have space on
Shut the fuck up. You have more storage than I do. Stop that.
my
But Half-Life 1 is one of those games where you can like play a mission, play a mission, play a mission. All right, I quit. And then just go do something else. And then come back the next day
Right.
and it's like, all right, let's pick up where we left off. And there's only one part where I like really needed a guide. I was very confused on what to do with the giant fucking fan thing. It was so annoying.
Right.
But like everything else is just it's very well explained. It's 1998 graphics, so you know, I guess be prepared for that. But like other
Right.
than that, it is such a good game. And
And then, like, look at Dota 2.
after the anniversary update, it plays very well on the Steamdeck. So
Right.
that is where I'll be playing it.
Speaking about Valve and their games, like Dota 2 versus League, their international prize pool is cracked.
Mhm.
The highest it's been from what I've seen is in 2021, October of 21. Their prize pool is $40 million.
If
40
Half-Life,
million.
if Half-Life 1 isn't fun enough to go through it, take one of the Google Translate mods by Deadwater Gaming. Oh my god. That sounds terrible. I don't know if I would do that. That does not sound like a good way to like a good way to play Half-Life.
And they're all
Although,
voiced.
if you really wanted to mod it, there's the HD texture pack mod that a lot of people recommend for the original game. I don't
I think I'm just gonna run it raw.
care for it. Yeah, I'll just run it raw. I don't care for it, frankly. You should just start playing it right now. Fuck it. Let's play with Yanni.
Alrighty, let's go.
I'm glad he's loading the game up.
I'm gonna install it.
You uninstalled it, you bit.
Oh, I thought I'm installing it.
Oh, they did uninstall it.
And it maxed out my drive. I don't have enough space.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No, it's already downloaded.
Do you
That's
want to?
crazy.
I told you. Do you want to rant about One UI 7?
One UI 7. I mean, I already got it, so I don't really care that much.
Yeah, fuck the rest of you guys.
'Cause I'm gonna make this one quick because it's not too interesting. But One UI 7 rolled out, and then it paused, and now it's slowly resuming. They found a bug that prevented some S24 owners from unlocking their devices. I think specifically in Korea.
Holy shit.
The original rollout was for the S24 series and for the Flip and Fold 6 series. April 7th was the release date. It went live in the US on the 10th. And then shortly after, I think by the end of the day, since it was already rolling out in Korea for 3 days by then, they just completely stopped it. And now, it seems like today, the 22nd, it seems to be rolling out again, but it's starting off in Korea like it did before, and it's going to do a global rollout. So technically, 2 or 3 more days, it should start rolling out in the US again. And we'll be good from there. And the whole cool thing with One UI 7 is it goes to Android 15. Android 15 natively runs on Vulkan. Animation is buttery smooth. Everything is cool. But a caveat that I have that I really don't like with Android right now is my Bluetooth devices. I'll have my earbud in. I'll get off work. I'm on Discord. I get in my car. It connects to my car. I go to Bluetooth devices either in the app or on my phone. And I can't just have I can't have a hard default saying just stay to my earbud. And I can't easily switch on Android.
Yeah,
For some reason, it's practically flawless on the iPhone. Because on the iPhone, I swipe up on Discord, I go to change audio device or audio output, and I can see my devices nice and plain. It says phone, speaker, car, or power beats. That easy. I just click power beats and it just works. And on Android, it gives me a list of like 7 things. Some of them duplicates, and it's a bunch of just jumbled stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And I click on it, and it shows power beats eventually, but it still never connects. I have to go to my Bluetooth settings, disconnect my power beats, and then reconnect them. That's annoying to do every single time. Because I have to do that every single time.
Yeah, I believe that shit. Stealthier said something about mentioning the devs said mods are not supported for the Oblivion remaster, but some guy on Reddit said the old mod toolkit of the original Oblivion works for the remaster. I know nothing about this,
wild.
so I'm just taking it. Just taking it as it comes. There's an app called Smart Things that I think it was pre-installed, and it does that.
I know of Smart Things, and I will look into that and see if that makes life a little bit easier. I currently switched back to my iPhone because I think I resolved my touch issue. While I was on my Android, I backed up, wiped my iPhone, and
it just works.
Yeah, right. It just works. Man, I still wish Steve Jobs was alive today. It'd be such a different world.
A different world?
It would 100% be a totally different world.
Yeah, we'd still have fucking tiny ass phones.
Steve
Jobs didn't think the iPhone needed to be bigger than the iPhone 5.
I think it would have followed through well. It's just the way he drove everything. It was, obviously things were bad and failed and flopped, but the streak that he was on, right?
I mean, he was on a
the
streak
iPod
before he got
Nano,
kicked out in the 90s.
The iPod Shuffle, the classic with the miniature hard drives.
That's so cool.
It's insane. And then the iPhone with a capacitive touchscreen, not the weird filter like multi-phase touchscreen that the MyTouch. I think it was Alcatel MyTouch had.
You remember the we still get those sometimes at work, but the
BlackBerry,
the touch screens that were just lasers, essentially. So you just you have to break the laser film for it to register a touch.
Yep.
So annoying. Such a strange.
It was
strange.
Again, technology. Pushing actual innovation.
Right.
It was the whole reason why I even got an iPhone was when the 5S was the first 64-bit processing smartphone on the market. That was insane. I just wanted it for that.
I think and it was
the phenomenal.
Last time
crazy.
Apple actually innovated was the original iPhone. Like a genuine innovation. Everything else has just been iterated.
The last innovation was pushing for 64-bit processing in a mobile device.
I don't even think
that's why I said
I feel like that's iteration.
5S.
Yeah, I feel like that's more iteration than innovation. I feel like that was an inevitability.
I'll be honest.
Got to it first.
I feel like no one was going to do it if they didn't do it.
You don't think?
Because who needs that kind of power in a smartphone?
I mean, to be fair,
that was the whole idea back then.
That was what was it? Bill Gates said, "Don't need 32 bits. Anything more than 32-bit processor." There's a little bug in here.
And whatever, it was 20-something megs of storage.
Yeah. Maybe for right now, Bill.
Crazy.
There's a reason you're not Microsoft CEO anymore.
Yeah, wait till I tell you the size of one game and all its DLCs.
You just go back in time and you're just yeah, look at this Call of Duty game that's 300 gigs. Huh? What's a gigabyte?
I'd love to just bring Sims 4 and all the DLCs and just leave it on a Steamdeck. And just give that to Steve Jobs.
Could you imagine?
I just want to give it to Steve Jobs and be like, here's this. Bye. Oh, by the way, go see a doctor. You got a year left to live.
Josh, I'm going to say you are wrong. The X was definitely not the last real innovation. Because Samsung was doing what the X was doing already. That's the only reason I say that.
They had infrared already built in for the face scanning.
I don't even think face scanning is a big deal. It's a different way to unlock the phone, sure, but
it works. I'm used to it now. Yeah,
I
since
really,
for all
I really
DLCs
do
on a Steam
think
Deck.
that's good.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, you know what? I'll attach a price tag to it, and I'll still give that to Jobs. Here, do something with this.
Could
Again,
you
by the way, you got a year left.
could you imagine taking the iPhone, right? Like the one
Yeah.
that's in your pocket right now, and then traveling back to like 1981 and meeting Steve Jobs, be like, "Hey, you're gonna make this in 30 years."
And I don't think I'd give it to him. I think I'd just give it to Woz.
And Woz would shit his pants. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Right.
Steve would be like, "Oh, that's cool," and Woz would be like, "Holy shit!"
Steve's gonna take it and immediately critique it. He's gonna be like, "No, I didn't make this. That's garbage."
This sucks.
Like, you're right. You didn't make this because you're dead.
Because he's not dead.
Yeah. Steve.
Oh, Steve's dead. You're right.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny. Well,
Right.
Yanni, what projects are you working on?
I was gonna write down my projects. It's still
I
kind
know
of the
you were
same
working
thing.
on the
Except I actually,
box.
yeah, I actually jumped on the bento box. I have a bunch of parts coming in tomorrow. I actually spoke to Josh about this, and I think I already told you about this too. I got to tell Tyler about this.
Do you want to explain
I
what
need
the bento box is?
Yeah, the bento box. It's a little tower. It's got 3 slots in it. The top slot has a small HEPA filter, like a tiny one, I think, built for a vacuum, my robot vacuums.
Oh,
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, right.
That's cool.
And it's got 3 layers, like 3 steps, 3 little chambers, for activated carbon.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the bottom, it's got 2 40-20 fans, just like really small, thick fans. And it'll take air from the top and it'll pull through the HEPA filter. It pulls through the carbon and then it exhausts out the bottom. And that's to help lower like VOCs and fumes
Right.
Inside of the printer. I already have it exhausting. But the cleaner I can get the air, the better. But yeah, I told you, Josh, and Tyler this, or I got to tell Tyler this. I bought all this stuff, and it's like multiples. So like, if you just want to buy the fans,
what are the fans?
or I mean, if I get bored enough, I'll just buy the fans for you because I might just build them and give them to you guys.
What was it, 40-20?
Yeah, they're 40-20s. And because the switch on the side is detachable, I can actually, like the plugs. Yeah. The switch has plugs on it, so there's little legs. So you can pull the wires off. You can actually, and I'll just mark them for you too. But I could 100% build it, and then all you have to do is flip your printer around, take the panel off, and just wire it in. In your case, I
don't think that'll work for me.
I was gonna say, yeah. In your case, I would just give you the USB option.
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of sucks is that it is a little noisy.
Yeah.
Because my printer is already noisy, and then the P1S is a little noisy, and so is the.
I'm sure I could RAM fan controller.
Well, Tyler has the same printer. But for the noise, like our printers already make noise. Yours is whisper quiet.
Just about. I mean, my my extraction fan makes a decent amount of noise.
But
so
it'll definitely.
It wouldn't be louder than that.
Yeah, it crushes fumes. Like, it's awesome.
Sick.
You just buy a little bag of carbon, and the filters are like $1.50 each.
Yeah.
So you can buy like 10 of them, and it'll last you like 2 years.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's so cool. So I got that. I still need to design. I actually have the fans right next. Showing the camera in front of my face. I got the fans here. This is going to upgrade my current exhaust system, and then my tiny fan's going to go to the window, so it can help pull more fumes out.
Okay.
I I have it right next to me because I have a caliper right next to me. I need to take measurements and actually build this thing.
Right.
And when I build it, I think I'm just going to take a picture of it and link everything to Amazon. And I might just release the files.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm planning on doing, is releasing the files and be like, hey, if you want to make this and hook it up to your window, you totally could.
Release
I
it on the
run
LAN
this
Show.
right in my bedroom. I've been doing I've been printing with ABS with the tiny little fan, and it's been phenomenal. It just
Right.
exhausts everything. I have no issues.
Hell yeah.
So
Well,
that's
I'm excited
that's
to
pretty much it.
see how that works.
Yeah, I want to make my own locking case for my Power Beats Pro too. But that honestly, actually,
You need TPU for
I guess
that one.
yeah, I was gonna say I might actually order TPU.
TPU for AMS, baby.
Because it'll be like just stiff enough to do this and hold a little metal rod,
Yeah.
and I can make a clasp for it. It'll like freaking work.
Right.
I want to print it in PLA first, and if it actually turns out great, I'm like 100% going to get TPU and do this, and then you and I can print a million other TPU things.
Hell yeah. All right, so discussion question. Print shop when?
Yeah. Print shop when?
Print shop when?
I can't go into the specifics.
Putting you between a rock and a
No,
hard
because
place.
I was gonna say when they can me, because of how mad I am at the.
Oh yeah, you can't talk about that.
Yeah, that whole thing.
You're like, damn it, I can't talk about this.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that if that sinks it in the hole, that's gonna be a dumb reason to leave. But hey,
Yes. Hey, you know what? That's a hill to die on, though. I can't even blame you on that one.
at 100%, that's 100% a hill to die on.
Yeah.
I'll just take it. I'll go do my own thing. I'll take the traction from it,
and you'll be fucking successful too. Like that's the other thing.
Yeah.
No matter what you decide to do, you'll be successful as shit.
Who's gonna say no to teaching anybody makerspace?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Even if you're just volunteering and taking donations, I think you get the fattest, craziest donations even. Just out of a library, right?
Right.
I would love nothing more if that was my job, to just roll around library to library with 3D printing equipment and be able to make things and like give them out and just teach people how to use the software.
Just talk to your old teacher.
Even Tinkercad, it's so easy. It's so easy to teach any kid, especially in like 5 minutes. You teach them how to make a cube, that's it. That's all you got to do in Tinkercad.
Teach man.
Just teach them how to make a cube in a couple circles.
What is it? What is it? Teach print man. Eat
I can't even remember.
I don't even know what it is. Teach fish.
Yeah,
man.
it was. I'll find it.
Well, I guess while he's finding that, I need to wait for my main job to slow down a little bit more, but I am slowly working on designs for my cassette tape project. I can tell you found it. I'm working on designs for my cassette tape project. I learned that you could probably go about 1 millimeter taller than the cassette tape before you start knocking into things. So have about 0.5 millimeter of play. And then I can go infinitely until I run out of material. So probably I can make some half decent things with 0.5 material of play, or 0.5 millimeter of play. So that'll be interesting whenever I get around to doing that.
You should get into SolidWorks.
Yeah, I need to. What I'm gonna do first
teach you.
Is I'm gonna design like the art, because I'll just draw that on my iPad, and then I have to turn it into a vector, because vectors can be turned into SVGs. SVGs can just be turned into designs that you can just slap on a 3D prints and raise and lower. Like, slices are a lot happier.
I'm pretty sure I could take it, throw it into I could create a sketch, throw that on top of the sketch, or on the surface, and then just extrude it up
Yeah, well,
exactly the way you want.
it had to be up or down because I'm planning on going inward and outward. Yeah, so the
Right.
official quote that I was going to say was what Fishy said, which is give man a fish, he's going to eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he's going to eat for a lifetime. But what I really wanted to say was what Yanni just found.
Yeah. So I work in computers, and this chick had a sticker on it that 100% vibed with me. It's, of course, we know it's give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man a fish, feed him for a lifetime. But the sticker she said that she had on there said, "Buy a man, eat fish, he day, teach fish man to a lifetime."
He day.
It's amazing. I love that sticker. And I just found out you can get like a plaque.
Oh my god.
And even funnier is they piggybacked off of our recent president.
Oh no.
Is that same quote, and it just says Joe Biden underneath.
Bo Jiden.
That would have been the cherry on top.
Bo Jiden. Just signed Bo Jiden.
Oh, that was so close.
That would have been funny. So yes.
Buy a man, eat fish, the day teach man to a lifetime. It's amazing.
So yes, at some point I'll be picking this project back up. They're coming to fucking. They announced that they're coming back to America in 2025. So I have anywhere from like 4 to 6 months to get this thing finished, so I can try and get them to sign it.
You got to learn now.
Yeah, I know. I got to start doing something about it now. But I have so many things for work I have to do now.
Now forget that. Just takes priority.
Actually,
yeah, instead of wasting time like running a podcast, I think
Manhattan Gandhi. Oh my god. What's funny is depending on the coworker I talk to, he would agree that this takes priority. So.
Yeah, true.
Depending on who I talk to. Because he would be as soon as I would explain it to him, he'd be like, "Yes, absolutely." I think you know exactly who I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Yes, absolutely."
You ever chat with anybody else about Blender?
That's actually what I plan on designing in. I don't know anybody personally except for the one person we've talked about.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't know if you spoke to them yet.
No, I haven't.
There's also Caleb.
Caleb. Oh, yeah.
Like old Caleb.
Yeah. OG Caleb.
Yeah. True, he is the OG Caleb.
Not college Caleb, not work Caleb. How many other Calebs do we got? Just like Connors. How many Connors do we have?
Quite a few. But no, he used to work in Blender super hard because he did the school project where he made a game. He actually made like a functional video game.
Yeah, that's cool. See, what I plan on doing is oh my god, I just had a brain fart. Is the laptop. Did I tell you about the laptop that I got from my brother?
Yeah.
So I slapped Linux on that.
It's asking you for a lot of prints.
Yeah. Well, his demands have changed now. I'll tell you about that later, though.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, I just want a shit ton of prints. I'm like, oh, that's easy. It cost me time and filament, but like shit, I get a laptop out of it.
Never mind, I just bought a printer.
Fuck. Well, he has a printer. That's the thing. But I guess to him, his prints out really shitty prints. So that's why he wanted the prints. But anyways, that's besides the point. I slapped Ubuntu on it, and I've been like learning and trying to refamiliarize myself with Linux again. By the way, app images are a very cool concept, but I hate them because they're not installed. And I just want to install the Bamboo Lab or the Bamboo Studio slicer on my fucking printer and have it show up as a fucking app.
Yep.
Like, that's so annoying. I understand why it exists, but like, why is there not a built-in option in an app image to just let me
Yeah.
install it to the system? Like, just keep it there. I don't want to have this ugly. So, anyways, I found a manager that took care of it and like whatever. So I have my
Yep.
workaround. I figured out my workaround, but it's just like it's so annoying. But anyways, I installed Blender on that. And it's an i7 10th gen, so like it can handle it for sure. For the small amount of stuff I'm going to be doing to it, I just need to get a need to start watching some tutorials and
Right.
learn. Probably gonna have to pull up the donut tutorial that's so famous.
Right.
And just learn Blender.
Should look into Arch Linux, considering Steam is now paying what were like puny time developers that were just giving a little bit of free time are now converted full time with benefits into working on Arch Linux.
I was considering Arch Linux. I only went to Ubuntu. Well, the thing is this laptop is not like this is a laptop that is not whatever data is on it is not important. If I don't move it off, it's not important. So
Same thing with my laptop. Yeah.
So like I plan on destroying this laptop like software wise, not hardware wise. I'm gonna take care of it hardware wise perfectly. But like I'm gonna run multiple Windows installs on it. I'm gonna like the BitLocker thing I was telling you about, trying to crack a BitLocker password. I'm gonna try it with that at some point. Like
and encrypt something and just let it hammer away.
Yeah, just see what happens.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna try things to it because I want to learn. I've never had a computer that's like been expendable.
Right.
And now I have one. So
right.
AJ, if you're watching, I will promise I'll take care of your computer with love and care. Just don't look at my hard drive. Because
it's just going to mentally be abused.
It will mentally and software wise be abused. Because of what I'm going to put it through. Well, I guess that's it. I guess that's the show. I thank everybody for coming out, and I say coming out as if you've left your house to watch this, but and watching,
drive-in theater.
Joining us. Yes, drive-in theater. If you've watched it at a drive-in theater, everybody who's there better be hitting subscribe right about now.
Yep.
I better be seeing like
see the button pop out of your dash in a moment here.
Jesus, I better be seeing 300 people subscribing. If it's up on a drive-in projector. But yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to say, Yanni? Oh, all right. Yeah, that's all.